With the long history of the Mario franchise, it makes sense many of its characters have had to undergo some changes as the years went by. Just take a look at Mario. He went from wearing red overalls and a blue shirt to wearing blue overalls and a red shirt. So that's how I get people's attention. Once Wario was introduced, Nintendo wanted to change his design as well. But instead of switching the colors of his shirt and overalls like a normal person would believe, they made him wear a biker outfit. But to keep things confusing, Wario still keeps his overalls in a majority of games. Wario of course isn't the only one who has experienced a teensy bit of an identity crisis over the years, so let's take a look at the most interesting examples. I love King Boo. Which one are you talking about? You can set your King Boo to light mode, dark mode, or system failure. Now this begs the question, who is the real King Boo? Let's first eliminate that drunk cousin variant from Mario Sunshine, as after Mario chucks several spicy peppers, it explodes into goop. So this King Boo was likely made by the magic paintbrush Bowser Jr. uses. We then have Luigi's Mansion King Boo, which looks like it has no sleep schedule whatsoever, and the ordinary King Boo seen in every other Mario game. This is literally just a big Boo from Mario 64 with the crown chucked on top of it. If we were to assume that these two are the same, the gem on King Boo's crown is what would transform it from just another one of Bowser's villains into a threat that only the mighty Luigi is strong enough to defeat. And King Boo kidnaps Mario specifically for all those times he barged into ghost houses uninvited. Whether it be the red gem from the first Luigi's Mansion, or the purple one in later games, which looks like a chunk taken from the Dark Moon, this powers King Boo into a menacing alter ego, wreaking havoc on Mario without needing to follow Bowser's commands. But what if these two King Boos are not the same? Regular King Boo could straight up just be a leader chosen by Boos, like some sort of Queen Bee. And no, I'm not talking about that monstrosity, yuck, I mean actual bees. In Mario Wonder's Light Switch Mansion stage, we see King Boo reverting back to a normal Boo once a Wonder Seed is collected. So the Boo community seems to select a king who uses the crown as some sort of royal jelly, and the crown is what upsizes the Boo from a Happy Meal to a double Whopper cheese. So that's a secret to obesity. Okay, but what is this sinister looking King Boo in Luigi's Mansion? Well, perhaps this is King Bowser? Yeah, this theory is very old and can very easily be debunked, but when else will I be able to talk about it? Luigi's Mansion likely took place right after Paper Mario, as the two games share a shockingly close relation. By reading over Luigi's diary without his permission, we see Luigi mentioning, "I hate ghosts and I want to play the lead in an adventure." Pfft, like that's ever gonna happen. After Mario defeats Bowser, the Toad Town News states Bowser was badly beaten and will likely never return. We're sure of it, almost positive. I guess falling thousands of meters in the air from an explosion did in fact kill Bowser. Mario suffered a similar fall at the start of the game and would have been a goner if it weren't for the Star Spirits. Before Paper Mario, Bowser had fallen in pits, lava, or sent flying a few meters by an explosion, resulting in injuries but not death. Fast forward to Luigi's Mansion, where once the fifth item belonging to Mario is given to Madame Clairvoyant, she says, "Bowser? How can this be? I see the hideous form of Bowser. Is Bowser somewhere in this mansion? I cannot believe it. And yet, I see it. I thought that Mario had soundly defeated Bowser. Has King Boo somehow revived Bowser?" And when Luigi encounters King Boo, he also says, "I remember how much trouble you have caused me in the past," which could refer to all those times Mario thwarted Bowser's plans, rather than him just going into ghost houses uninvited. And this final boss, right here, now that's why this theory just vomited its way out onto the internet. Here, King Boo possesses a very realistic Bowser suit, way more advanced than other functioning Bowser suits we've seen. Realistically thinking, King Boo probably just pulled a Frankenstein on Luigi, scaring him with the very thing only his brother can defeat. Well, at least during the prior N64 era. But if King Boo was just a dead Bowser possessing some organic clone of his, it would explain why he survived falling into a black hole in the Galaxy games, and the existence of Dry Bowser, because shockingly, ghosts can't die. But why would Bowser revert back into King Boo in Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3? Why is he more menacing in Luigi games as opposed to Mario games? This is why the theory feels extremely outdated and complete nonsense. But back in 2010, it probably made a little more sense. But with sequels to Luigi's Mansion and Paper Jam even showing the Paper Mario games may take place in a completely different universe, this idea feels less and less legitimate than it already was. We could also say King Boo is not a dead Bowser and is just possessing Bowser's dead body, or a clone of it at least, but the same plot holes will arise. From a Nintendo point of view, Luigi's Mansion King Boo likely is replaced for ordinary King Boo, as he may be a little too spoopy for very young children to see in a Mario Kart or Mario Party. Even though personally, Honey Queen scares the life out of me more than any type of Boo, and she's in Mario Kart 7. You've probably faced a "I wanna play as Wario in Smash" experience, which is followed by a puzzle, who are you? Come on, he's just wearing different clothes guys, we don't need to judge him that badly. You can still select the classic purple overalls and yellow shirt. But why is this not the default costume? In case you didn't know, Wario here represents the WarioWare franchise, in the same way DK and Yoshi represent their own franchises. Thankfully, they don't wear clothes to begin with, so the confusion doesn't arise. And considering the Wario Land franchise seems to be dead since 2008's Wario Land Shake It, or the Shake Dimension, I guess it makes sense why this is Wario's primary design. However, I want to complain more and point out Wario's Smash debut in Brawl, it had only been 5 years since WarioWare existed. Wario Land had a far richer history and was what people recognized Wario from, excluding his association with Mario of course. I must say though, it was quite the coincidence that the last Wario Land game we got released later in the same year as Brawl. Maybe it was already planned out that Wario would be assassinated after Shake It. Wario was even considered to be in Smash Melee but was cut due to time constraints, and there already being enough Mario characters. Like that's a huge concern these days. And didn't they even want Wario to represent his own franchise and not Mario? Regardless, if Wario was in Melee, he would have to ditch his biker outfit since Melee debuted 2 years before fans even knew what the heck a WarioWare was. Despite Smash wanting us to think of WarioWare when we think of Wario, the franchise wasn't made around him. According to an interview with Yoshio Sakamoto, Wario is always doing stupid things and is really idiotic, so we thought him and the rest of the characters would be best for the game. I bet they would have loved to put Mario, Luigi, or a freaking Toad as the face of the game. But they chose Wario because he's stupid and embraces it to the fullest. Speaking of, where is Waluigi? The Wario franchise doesn't need Waluigi, I guess. After all, a human can live with 1 kidney as opposed to 2. But if the option was given, would you really choose one? The characters in WarioWare are amazing, yet Waluigi would be such a welcoming addition. If Jimmy T's whole family can get in, so can Waluigi. But what do I know, Papa T may stand a better chance at getting into Smash than Waluigi will ever. I know Waluigi was created by Camelot as Wario's double partner in Mario Tennis, yet Toadette, a character originating from Mario Kart Double Dash, made her way into Captain Toad and recent 2D Mario titles, so why can't Waluigi? That is being a Wario game. I've lost hope in him being in a mainline Mario game at this point. On the other hand, characters across the Wario Land and WarioWare games have never appeared in Mario spin-off titles, as if they take place in some separate universe. Yes, Wario Land is dead, so no Captain Syrup. Yet, Jimmy T, Ashley, 9-Volt, 18-Volt? Unless Nintendo's too lazy to turn 2D sprites into 3D, which Smash has proven not to be the case, why are these guys not in Mario Kart, Mario Party, nor Mario Sports? Funky Kong is undoubtedly an original DK character, which is why it was amazing to see him in Mario Kart, and I bet this magic can be recaptured using WarioWare characters as well. Even the Kremlings are the goalkeepers in Mario Strikers. In Mario Super Sluggers, the DK team consisted of beloved characters throughout the Donkey Kong Country games. Wario, on the other hand, received Goombas, Koopas, Boo, and King Boo. I've always wanted to see a Goomba hold a baseball bat, but I don't want Wario to be the one responsible for such black magic. And King Boo is associated with Luigi's Mansion, yet he's Team Wario? Like, what is going on here? The weirdest part is that Wario's greediness, smelliness, and infamous rear end have stayed consistent throughout the 3 franchises he belongs to. Regardless, Mario games don't like to acknowledge Wario characters, just like how Wario games don't like to acknowledge Waluigi. So let's just hope one day this changes. Unlike Wart and Mauser, Birdo did not fade into obscurity after Super Mario Bros. 2 Doki Doki Panic Edition, and eventually became part of the main cast of Mario characters. Fairly recent titles like Mario Party Superstars and Mario Strikers Battle League have had some tiny rosters, yet this was no issue for Birdo, who made the cut into both games. There are other characters from Mario 2 who were also spared, but Birdo's the most interesting pick, considering how much Nintendo doesn't want you to know about her gender, yet at the same time, they love to put Birdo in almost every single Mario spin-off possible. In both game manuals, Birdo thinks he is a girl, implying she is transgender. But Nintendo probably thinks this isn't something that we should put in our family-friendly Mario game back in the 80s. They could have changed Birdo's description from Doki Doki Panic's manual if they really wanted to, yet the descriptions are basically the same. But after this, Nintendo tried to keep all this hush-hush, by mainly referring to Birdo as a her these days, with only once being referred to as indeterminate in Smash Bros. Assist Trophy. The story behind Birdo's gender overshadows something else that hasn't been answered. Is Birdo good or bad? And no, the answer isn't some grey area BS. In earlier games like Mario 2 or Mario RPG, Birdo is a character you're supposed to beat the crap out of. But newer games like the modern Paper Mario trilogy keep Birdo's flirtatious attributes, although get rid of her antagonistic qualities. 2003 saw the moment where Birdo left her discontent for Mario in the past, by becoming Yoshi's partner in Double Dash. It seemed like Nintendo wanted to make them a couple, until that idea was dropped as the years went by. The two were kinda partners in Mario Tennis, but she wasn't Yoshi's only partner, the other being a literal baby. Yet, during the same time, Birdo also fought alongside Popple against the bros in Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Birdo isn't a complete villain here, as she only fights by Popple's side because she loves him, Rip Yoshi, and Birdo is used as Peach's decoy, saving Peach's voice from being stolen. And like Yoshi, Birdo is a species, not just a single character as shown by the different color palettes in Mario 2. Yet, since this game we had only seen the standard pink Birdo, and in terms of the Mario RPGs, there has still been no sight of Birdo's alternate colors. It wasn't until Mario Power Tennis and Mario Strikers till we saw alternate colors of Birdo game. When a Bob-omb explodes, does it survive? That seems obvious. A Bob-omb explodes in a Mario game and it's not there anymore, so it's dead, right? Well, Paper Mario games say otherwise. Partners like Bombat and Bobbery are perfectly fine after using their bomb attack. The same goes with Boomer, but he's a pixel, so he's kinda useless to this question. Even ordinary Bob-ombs, which fire Mario to the moon in Chapter 7 of the Thousand Year Door, fly down in parachutes in one piece. You can argue that we don't see them exploding, but just look at the Bob-ombs in Koopa Village in the first Paper Mario game. No matter the number of times they explode, they're still alive. And finally, we have the lovable Bobby in Paper Mario the Origami King. Bobby's so sweet that he thinks he's sacrificing his life so Mario and Olivia can complete their journey. What are you afraid of, Mario? He'll be fine. No Bob-omb has died from an explosion in Paper Mario before, and no Bob-omb is going to die now. This makes zero sense. Bob-ombs never died from exploding in other Paper Mario games. Like, do you want me to cry, Nintendo? Is that it? Because then you might as well remake Sticker Star and Switch and I'll be crying all night long. Yes, Bobby is an ordinary Bob-omb, but we've seen these guys survive in previous games. Or does Origami King take place in some alternate Paper Mario timeline? I hope not, that would just be plain stupid. Perhaps though, Bobby is just built different. Like, his explosive power looks stronger than other Bob-ombs. Unfortunately, with Bobby's super strength is the cost of being super susceptible to death. It's as if Bobby was manufactured in some dodgy factory, where its creators train Bob-ombs to sacrifice their lives to save the lives of others. This is unlike the naturally bred Bob-ombs in previous Paper Mario games, seen to have actual families. Poor Bobby, he died in his youth and had no family. Before exploding, Bobby even says, "If I can save a friend like this, it means I've finally become the sort of Bob-omb I've always wanted to be." Even before saving Olivia, we can see in Bobby's flashback that him and other Bob-ombs tried to sacrifice themselves to protect the toads from the Gooper Blooper attacking the boat. Despite their ordinary appearance, these are not your typical suburban Bob-ombs and are trained to do whatever it takes to ensure that everyone is safe. But them. This is just a little theory stitched together by reading a Reddit post of all things on why Bobby dies. But realistically, the game devs probably just wanted to add some emotional moment the player will remember. That way, we can actually care about a partner that has no originality in its design. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Nice work. Hope you enjoyed, and goodbye for now.